This is Tennyson E Stead, writer and director and founder of 8-Sided Films, here with another 8-Sided blog. Today I'd like to talk about a very, very simple concept that a lot of people in show business get hung up on, and which really in this industry we don't need to put as much focus on as we do. And it's another one of those values that's crept up over the course of the mysterious work that we've been doing over the last few weeks. But what it really comes down to is that when you're dealing with professionals and when you're dealing with good people, experience is the same thing as credentials. Okay? A lot of people get wrapped up in, oh, but I don't have this certification, so I can't do that work, or I can't do that certification, so I can't do that work. Now, in some cases, in some specific cases, like when you're dealing with a union for safety reasons that requires you to have a specific kind of certification, if you're dealing, for example, with explosives, yes, you need to be certified to deal with those explosives in the appropriate way. That's for sure. However, when it comes to the essential pieces of business, when it comes to the things that drive your success and your company, and when it comes to dealing with other people, partners who can participate with you in the expansion and the growth of that company, do not get hung up on what degrees you have or what you studied in school, because that was 20 years ago for some of us, right? Don't worry about it. If you've been selling tickets to shows since you were 10 years old and you are now 30 or older, you understand how show business works. If you know how to sell tickets and keep a space open and make sure that people are coming into that space, you understand how show business works. You don't need a master's of business administration to tell you that stuff. You're already aware of it. And all the things that you know how to do are the things that ultimately studios are supposed to be able to do. And when you find people who acknowledge that expertise and are willing to work with that expertise, it's very important not to second guess your expertise, because you've been doing it for 20 years and because expertise is experience. It's the same thing. If you've been doing a thing for a long period of time and you've been doing it successfully, you know how that thing is done. You are in a position to tell other people, if you choose to, how that thing should be done. Don't stress yourself out about whether or not someone else has given you permission to have that conversation. Don't worry about the permission. Don't worry about the piece of paper. Focus on what you know from personal experience and put that experience to work for you. And just as importantly, put that experience to work for the community around you. Make sure, to the fullest degree possible, that the people in your community who want to benefit from the things that you know how to do are benefiting from it. To the fullest degree possible, meaning to the degree that you have time for it, you know what I mean? Give that experience to other people. Don't be afraid to be the expert, and don't be afraid to offer help to people who need it, and don't be afraid to educate if you've been doing something for a very long period of time and you understand how that thing is done. That's true in film finance, that's true in production matters, that's true, in any aspect of this industry, and in particular in this industry, because so much of this industry is about doing it and not necessarily about learning it in a class, learning how the rules work and this and that. Don't stress yourself out about whether or not you have a document that says that you did that work. If you've actually been making productions work, if you've actually been making productions successful, if you've been selling tickets and keeping houses of any kind, whether it's a movie theater, whether it's a stage, if you've been keeping houses open, working with teams to keep houses open, those same principles are going to work for you in any aspect of show business. Okay? Do not get hung up on the credentials that other people are asking for. And if people are asking for credentials and they're not willing to accept your experience as a credential, what does that say about that person's value system? What does it say about what they're coming from? And also, and this is really important, what does it say if they're willing to accept a piece of paper over, let's say for the sake of argument, 2 decades of relentless success on your part? What does that say about the teams that they're building and the shows that they're producing and the success that they are cultivating if they are not willing to let successful people in, but they are willing to honor that you took a 2-month course on the internet. That doesn't make any sense, okay, from a business standpoint. And the people that you want to do business with are the people who understand personally and from practice that actually does make no sense. You want the people who are going to respond to your inherent expertise and aren't going to demand that you validate that expertise when it's already obvious. That is the end of this blog. Thank you very much for listening. My name's Tennyson E Stead. If you want to see more from 8-Sided Films, be sure to click the subscribe button if you like what I have to say on this video. That's what these thumbs are for. Give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching. You have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye.